Good morning. Good morning. We will see if Astra decides to howl to her people. She has been on a 15-minute rant in the hallway where it echoes. And I'm not sure if it's not just her listening to the echo of her own sound. She's adorable. Oh, how is everybody this morning? It's Friday. It's been a week, but I'm here with you today. But it's been a week. Okay. Oh. Okay. Sacred self-care. 48. Spend time with animals. Well, I'm definitely spending time with Astra today. I am surrounded by loving reflections. Friends are one of the greatest gifts in life. Plan a time to meet up with your friends in person to do something fun. Even if it's only the simple act of sitting around and talking about what's going on in your life. Animal guides are present in my life, providing protection, sharing wisdom, pointing me in the right direction, and teaching me the ways of unconditional love. The association between animals and spiritual guidance is a long history. Animals are known for their ability to share wisdom, send us messages, and be our guardians. Journal prompt. What is your fondest memory of your connecting with an animal and why? Okay. Animal Spirit Guidebook. The bumblebee. The bee. Earnest, hardworking, democratic. The bee personality is a delight to be around, especially when there's a team project on the horizon. Bees love to work steadily and thoughtfully until the final task is complete. They are sensitive creatures aware of many subtleties at once. Since they're artists at heart, they usually add creative details to the overall vision. For the most part, they have a bustling, joyous personality. Until they're too tired from all the work, then they gripe, and then sting. When in balance, content, active, and vibrant. When out of balance, overworked and annoyed. Bring into balance, mini vacation. Love that. The bumblebee. I love bumblebees. I also love honey. Mystical Shaman Oracle. And we have the Gatherer. And this is a really pretty picture. Hopefully you can see it. Essence. Before we cultivated grains, we collected the wild bounty of nature. The gatherer finds abundant seeds, nuts, berries, and wild greens where the ordinary person only sees barren soil. The gatherer is the provider, the forager, the gardener who collects roots and vegetables for the long winter when game is scarce. She does not hoard, trusting the bounty around her. The invitation is to look at the resources you already have close at hand. This is a time of abundance. Everything around you is ripe and ready for harvest. Banish the notions of scarcity that have limited your choices and colored your destiny. Pack your food for the winter and start with the low-hanging fruit that's around you. The medicine. Do not wander too far afield in search of what Spirit has already provided. Practice paying it forward, being thankful in advance for receiving. If you are in a scarcity mindset, open your heart and look beyond the current conditions. You will find the bounty being offered to you. Practice sharing, not hoarding. And I love that. I love that this card has pumpkins and pussy willows, birds, there's the moons, there's the overlay of, there's another animal overlaid on the human in the picture. There's feathers, there's grain, there's different kinds of plants. It's just beautiful. I love this card. When I was looking through the deck, I liked this card. So, okay, so going back to all three cards, we have Animal, which is animal guides are present in my life, providing protection, sharing wisdom, pointing me in the right direction, teaching me the ways of unconditional love. Association between animals and spiritual guidance is a long history. Animals are known for their ability to share wisdom as a message and be our guardians. And the journal prompt is, what is your fondest memory of connecting with an animal and why? So the first card is animal, right? Spending time with animals. The bumblebee is hardworking, earnest, and democratic, sensitive, aware of of many subtleties at once, artistic, creative, have an overall vision, joyous personalities, and be careful about being too tired. Make sure you take resting times, right? Okay, so that's the bee. And then the gatherer is, in essence, cultivating nature, the forager, the provider, the gardener who collects roots and vegetables, not hoarding, but trusting bounty, looking at the resources you have and paying it forward, sharing, not hoarding. So these three cards, interestingly enough, as Astra has gone back and forth howling, yes, come here, girl, you can come up. I was moving my legs so you could sit here. So spending time with animals, being creative, sharing, not hoarding. So I have this project I'm working on, and this is the third time I have decided to do this project. Only the first time I started the project, I got about a week in and life happened, so I didn't go anywhere with it. And the second time I started this project, I got kind of stuck in this place of doing a lot of spiritual work and shadow work, and I didn't get very far with it. And I'm in a place right now where I have several intellectual projects. So I'm working on a teaching video series with Body of 9. I'm working on 2 manuscripts with Body of 9. I am working on I have several projects, right? And they're all very intellectual, sit in front of the computer and type and have computer time and do that kind of stuff. And I realized, I would say right about the solstice, I went, oh, okay. So to do these projects, I have to have something that is truly transformational in my energy, transmutation of energy. And I need something that I can do every single day for about an hour to 2 hours in the evening to make sure that I have creative downtime, that I'm not in front of a computer, that I have time to listen to an audiobook that's very like, get my brain off all these other subjects. And what's interesting about this busy energy, this creative energy, is that I am notorious for being able to get into flow. And flow is apparently a place that many people want to be and don't know how to get there, and I just go there. My problem with flow is that I can be there for a really long time, and then I don't want to come out of it. So the last 2 evenings, I've been practicing this project that I've been getting into, this creative project I've been getting into, and I've been working on, I got a new journal so that I can sketch and write ideas and work on it. Because during the day, right, even though I'm in front of the computer, I'm doing a lot of work, I have moments where I need to set my alarm, step away for a half an hour and do something else. And I don't have a lot of time to go back into this for several hours, but I can write down my ideas so that later I can go, what was I thinking of? What was that really good idea? And bee energy is really good for that. Animal energy is really powerful in this project for me because one of the elements of this project is connection to Mother Earth and looking at past, present, future, and possibilities in the connection to Earth herself. And it's a very important project of transmutation, and the animal piece is also very important. And the gatherer is very interesting because in this project, this transmutation project, creative project that I'm working on, one of the things that I promised myself doing this project is that I would only use recycled material or material that I already had at my house. And when I started this project, probably about 7 or 8 years ago, the first time, I spent money. And the project didn't go anywhere. I got stalled out, and that project is still hanging on the wall in my art room. And it's not what this project is. It could be, I guess, but the energy's not moving with it yet, so I can't do anything with it. And last year, the second time that I started this project, I went, okay, I'm only going to use recycled materials. I am only going to use secondhand materials, and I'm not going to spend more than $50 total on any of the materials. And so I had started it, and again, I think I bought all the baseline materials or used stuff out of the garage when I had started it the second time. And I think I spent like $5 based on my notes from my journal that year. And I thought, okay, I'm going to stick to those parameters this go around. And so when I was sitting here yesterday evening or day before yesterday contemplating, okay, what do I want this portion of the design to be? And I thought, what would create this texture that I'm looking for in this three-dimensional aspect, and what would weave into the base that I have used secondhand material to create? And I was like, I have yarn. I have tons of all these different colors of yarn. I have like one ball of one and half a ball of another. And I thought, oh, this is perfect. So yesterday evening, I spent 2 hours crocheting these threads together to create this texture. And then I spent time learning how to braid a 9-strand braid together to create this woven strip. And I'm absolutely tickled the way it looks. And when I'm done with this project, it's probably the first project I have created, or I'm creating, in let's see, Taliesin is 22? 23. He's 23. And so it's probably been 23 years since I have created a piece of artwork that is intentionally an installation piece. It is I guess it's been less than that, because I have a piece in my hallway that's an installation piece. It's not complete the way I had originally designed it. So I did that one in 2004. Okay, so it's been not quite 20 years since I've done an installation piece, but this is the largest installation piece I have created in 23 years, for sure. My last large installation piece was for my senior show the year that Taliesin was born. And I am very excited because an installation piece like this requires that I am going to have to really look at where I can take it to show it and show it off well. It's not meant to be sitting in my living room as just a piece of artwork that sits here. It is meant to be a project that goes out into the world and gives to others. And one of the things that the Gatherer card reminds me of is that I do a lot of creative work, and my number one motivation to many pieces of creative work is not for me, it's for others. And one of the things that's happened in the last 20 years is, you know, I've gotten together with my partner, and we have done a lot of like creative historical reproduction type stuff or recreation stuff, and I've made a lot of garments for him. I've created a whole new wardrobe for me. I'm always making garments and stuff. I've got a new coat I'm making too while I've got getting started on this other project. It's winter and I'd like a wool coat. And so I'm always making, but one of the things that I miss is the creative part where I can show the art, right? Show the art and the story and the connection to earth and this spiritual representation, this myth, metaphor, conglomeration that I love doing. I mean, the piece of artwork that's behind our daily devotional every day is an oil painting that I did probably right after Taliesin was born, actually. And it's called Mother Earth Holding Humanity. And I don't know if you can see it as very well in the film, but it's an oil painting of the Venus of Willendorf sculpture base, you know, the idea of that. And she is holding a human child, and around the human child's head is a beaded halo, and she has a beaded headpiece on top of her head, and it's hand beaded on top of the canvas. So the name of the piece, the symbolism, all of my artwork has deep meaning like this, and I am in a place where I want to create and am creating this amazing transformational energy piece that I want to share with the world. So these cards for me were very much like working diligently, keeping the creativity alive, connecting with Mother Earth, her animals, her intermediary communicators, our companions in Mother Earth's world, and not hoarding, but sharing. And I have so many little bits and bobs and pieces of scraps of other projects that I've kept over the years that I've known that those little bits and bobs and pieces are important for work, for creating stuff. Because I don't like to buy if I have it in my stash. And so I have created a quite robust stash that when I make things, I want to use that creative stash to create a new thing. And these cards can be applied to your life, they can be applied to art, they can be applied to so many things. And if you're an artist, if you're a creative person and you need a piece of a supply or something, reach out to your other artist friends, reach out to people who are creative, because you never know, they might have a box of whatever random thing that they got that they're not going to use or that would be better to share with others. And art and creativity is often viewed very much like a conversation I had with a dear friend not very long ago, and she said something about she used to think that she couldn't create until she had a new pencil, or she couldn't do a painting unless she had a certain kind of paint or certain kinds of brushes or certain kinds of material. And art is, in my opinion, and this is my humble opinion about art and creativity, is that you don't need all the fancy things to create art. I mean, I have a whole thing here of, I bought these linen thread cards like 12 years ago. I don't embroider with a lot of linen. And I've got a whole bunch of these sitting in my drawer and last night I was winding my crocheted yarn weavings around them to hold them so that I could use them for braid, instead of going out and buying bobbins to wind everything with. Oh, I can't braid unless I have these all wound into bobbins, because the instructional video showed you winding the threads around bobbins. And there's a lot of projects that say you have to use silk. So I use cotton because I don't have a lot of very high-end silk. Cotton's cheaper. Gold work. A lot of gold work embroidery is you have to have 14 karat gold woven, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I don't have that. I don't have that. I've got cheap Michael's threads, or I've bought polyester secondhand thrift store ribbons for 15, 25 cents, 50 cents, right? So I'm a big believer in, if you have a creative idea, you've got the creative idea, you write it down, and then you look at what you have to make that thing, to create that image or that design. It's very rare that I go out and buy fabric or materials to suit a project unless I've, so I have this embroidery that I've been working on, and without showing you the whole thing, if you look right here, see if I can show it to you, see that gray band? That is me having run out of the threads around it, and I started back into it with this other, what I thought was the same color, and I got it, got that band, that section done, and I went to bed, and I woke up the next morning, I went, oh, I really am out of that color. And I went and bought one $1.25 bundle to finish off the rest of it, and I could have taken out that band of color, and I went, I'm not going to. That creates interest in the piece. Like, why randomly is there this other color there? There are people that when they create, there is this perfectionism piece that comes into it, that it has to be perfect. All the threads have to match. I ran out of these beads, so I'm going to take all the beads out that I've put in this project, and I'm going to go back and start over with the beads that I have more of, right? Like, they're going to start over. And I am very much under this auspices of connection to Earth herself, and to this idea that we don't want a perfect art project. We don't want a perfect thing, because Earth herself, in her perfection, accepts all of the manifestations of whatever happens, right? So the artwork that has the band in it of the color that doesn't match is still perfect. It's still perfect in reflection of who we are and what we're working through. And for me, it was like, that's going to show my shadow band, right? The band of shadow color in my project. I wasn't paying attention and didn't realize it was the wrong color, and yet it shows that I can accept it. It's a demonstrative showing in the art piece that I can make mistakes and I can live with them, and I think it's beautiful, and I can work around that. And that mistake, is it really a mistake? Could it have been an artistic choice? Yeah, it was a mistake. I will admit it was totally a mistake, but it's still part of the creative process. And so these cards today, there is this, for me, the cards were very much a connection to connecting with animals, connecting with the animal companions that we have in our lives. My journal entry was about this amazing entity. She was a cat, and her name was Dulcie, and she was a Angoran long-haired, I say Angoran long hair because she had really short hair and then really long hairs, and she was calico. She was absolutely beautiful. She had this spicy personality, and I will forever miss her. She was with me a very short amount of time, only a couple years, and I miss her all the time. She was just a wonderful companion. And she also, like many of my animal companions, mostly ignore all my art materials. I've been very lucky. Most of the animal companions I've had have been like, what are you doing? And I want nothing to do with your yarn or anything else. Being industrious and creative and allowing that energy to flow, but also recognizing when you need to stop, take a break, and do something else to break up the cycle. And then the gatherer, when you are gathering and harvesting via the seasons, paying attention to the things around you, and gather for others. not gathering to hoard and not hoarding resources, but sharing with others. And many artists, myself included, have been in this place of, I mean, I haven't done an art show since 2001. And that's a long time to create art for decades and not share it. And I mean, I do share on my other YouTube channel, Eagle and Rue, if you want to go check that out. But there is something about doing an installation piece with intention that I haven't done in a long time. So Spirit and universe are definitely like, okay, you're doing all these other things, but you also have this artistic, creative thing that you need to work on too. So that's another project that I'm working on. So I hope you all have a beautiful day, my friends. Have a blessed day. And Astor came back to my lap. Have a blessed day, and I will see you in prayer.